Hey, we're live.
Hey, yes, we are. And funny enough, it's my turn in my fantasy league to draft. So
Boo! I don't want to
I
hear it. I
need
want to do a
I
wrestling draft.
I need what name sounds more like a wrestling name? There's a Trey Sermon or Lavisca Chenault.
Are those names?
Those are
I
real
gotta
names.
go, Lavisca, man. That's a world champ right there.
LaVisca, yeah.
Lavisca. And if it was Vince, he would take away Chenault at some point and just call him Lavisca.
Well, with that being said, in the 20th round, I'm drafting Lavisca Chenault.
Is that good? I don't know anything about.
We'll see. It's the 20th round, and there's 12 teams, so it's like these are players in the league.
I
But
like
that's
how
about it.
the first 5 minutes of a wrestling podcast we're talking about football.
Hey, you got to change up the intro every once in a while, right? Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain. Ready to talk some news and give our takes on the stuff that we've missed or the week that was. So yes, it should be fun.
Jordan, how's it going?
Hey, you know what? Not too shabby. It's a nice Thursday night. Impact is on. You guys know Impact still has shows? Yeah. Actually, got
Yeah,
some good. I got some good Impact news later. Actually.
Oh,
okay.
I'll be honest. I don't keep up with Impact, other than I know that now the Motor City Machine Guns will be teaming with Jay Lethal at All Out. I mean, and I guess we'll just start off with that since I brought it up. The Machine Guns are a face team, right?
Yeah.
Well, in AEW, they're whatever they want them to be.
They're face on Impact. There's people who've been face on one promotion and then like heel on the other, which is kind of
It's a whole other universe, man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I do think maybe that I mean maybe they had this plan all along, but I feel like there was so little interest in the in I can't remember the big dude's name. So
Exactly.
and him
Something Sing, Satnam Sing. There you go.
Thing, yeah.
Putting on the Ritz.
There was so little interest in him wrestling, or maybe they realized he's just not that great, so they're like, okay. And then they thought, I mean, I was just wanting, because I want to see, I do want to see Sanjay wrestle still. Like, he's a good wrestler, but like, he's just been just like a pencil pushing.
I also just don't know how active he is anymore. I mean, it would make sense that he's wrestling like a manager if the fact is the dude's been inactive for so long. So why don't try to give you a banger kind of thing, Because then it's just diminishing returns, and it's not the Sanjay we once know. Although I bet you it's still in him.
Yeah, it should be fun. But yeah, I feel like maybe they just definitely got me more interested in the match now. I don't know if this is just like a one. Like, evidently, Impact and AEW still got a somewhat of a working relationship. We'll see if that how that goes going forward, or whether the maybe most of the machine guns are going to be used more regularly. Yeah.
Well, see, I'm definitely down for a straight up just normal tag match between FTR and Machine Guns. I think that's kind of a dream match that's still on the table.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Machine Guns fan, Jacob, so I'm definitely down. I love Alex Shelley. I love them both, but I've really been a huge Shelley mark for a long time. And cats are better. This is why. And but so I'm glad to see Shelley getting some AEW love. The dude's literally popped up everywhere now a little bit. He had that weird NXT run, or small NXT run. Now he's in AEW for a little bit.
Yeah, and he's I don't know, has he gotten his title shot yet, or has that match not happened?
Impact no, World? that happened pretty recently. That's why I'm actually kind of back on Impact, because for $5 you got that pay-per-view, and then you get all the Impacts on demand and commercial free. So it's a good deal on YouTube if you ever want to look into it. They don't give you the big $40 pay-per-view, so like the last one before that, I think, wasn't included, but they give you all like the B pay-per-views in a way. Like this one was Emergence, and so
Right.
it was free with the $5 plus. Like I said, you get Impact, no commercials. You get through that pretty quickly. It's just like an hour 20, and they still got a good roster, man. There's some really good people on that roster.
And for
Yeah.
$5, I mean, come on.
No, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, man,
Bang for your buck there.
I definitely keep up with Impact if because Impact's one of my favorite shows. It's definitely got if you want a good women's division, because I'll rant about that later. AEW's women's division, the booking of AEW's women's division sucks. So if you want good booking,
Yeah, I got some news. I got some news about a little bit about the women's division here too.
so the Impact women's division is awesome. So yeah, and the booking of it is awesome. It makes it seem important. So
WWE's isn't that bad.
Yeah, WWE's pretty good.
But Impact's been pretty good for a long time, if not since they started a women's division. They've always seemed to kind of have that kind of, I don't want to say at the forefront, but it's always been important in Impact for the most part, from the Gail Kim days. And now Gail Kim's behind the scenes for the most part. And I believe Maria Kanellis also helps a lot backstage as well.
Yeah, like if you on the days when WWE was still doing having the people fighting for the butterfly belt and doing still doing bra and panties matches.
Yes, and Jordan Grace thanks you for that money.
Yeah,
man, she is thick with 2 C's.
Yeah,
it's not that kind of show, guys.
That's not that nasty. She also told a fun story one time. Evidently, people will pay for specifically armpit shots. I think she said. I don't know. Anywho,
people are weird.
Yeah,
people are weird.
Just saying.
You guys remember what Shotzi Blackheart used to sell on the internet? Anyone aware of that story?
Oh yeah.
Pictures of her poo. Moving on.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I said no.
Here's the thing. I have to know this, so now you have to know this.
How do we segue from?
It's a crappy fun fact.
It was technically Papa Wes's fault because he brought up OnlyFans.
It's my fault for bringing the comment.
Rocks me to poo, which technically your fault for allowing that comment on.
True. I'll own this one. I'll hold this out. Well, women's wrestling, am I right?
Yeah, no, it's great Impact. That's what I'll say. And yeah, like that they've been at the forefront of the women's wrestling for a while with Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, and a few others, Taylor Wilde. So yeah, they've always had a bang of a women's division. So yeah.
I haven't really cared for AEW's women's division since they started. They've had good matches here and there, but overall the booking, it's like.
You haven't been given a reason to care because Tony Khan doesn't care about the women's division. Yeah.
I would argue he cares. I would argue he's just not great at making it matter. He gives them time, and they've main evented shows. Thunder Rosa won the title in a main event in a cage match. That's kind of cool. But there's been just so many gaps in between. I mean, even recently debuting the talented Taylor Wilde again. No, Madison Rain. And again, now where she's been, you know what I mean? And Athena's kind of trip to her and Jade has been very kind of long and not really fulfilling. And yeah, I think it's rookie booking kind of thing. So I bet you in his heart he cares. It's just it hasn't come across as well as they would have liked, because they've always tried to kind of be like, we've got a women's division, since day one with international talent and whatnot. But
I guess could we segue to what they're doing with the women's title now?
Well, I was going to say let's start with the world title, because last night we did crown the official champion. Everyone figured it was going to be at All Out. Instead, Jon Moxley in the not main event, which was the first sign to me when I was like, that's next. That's not the main event. Jon Moxley defeated CM Punk in just a little over 3 minutes to solidify himself as not just the interim champion, but the world champion here. Pretty shocking that was just 3 minutes. A lot of people figured once it was announced for Dynamite, maybe a no DQ or a time limit draw. But Moxley's your champ. Trying to speculate earlier with my brother. I don't know if maybe my speculation was maybe Punk's just not ready, and they knew he was going to be this much longer off. Cats are better than dogs. So maybe they went ahead and did this so Punk can kind of heal up and they don't have the interim thing hanging over them. But we'll see. I still don't know what the all-out plan is. But interesting choice here. What do you guys think about Moxley being the champ in about 3 minutes?
I don't like it.
It's weird. It's like according to Meltzer, like CM Punk and Moxley's still on the docket for all out. So I'm like, why did you do this finish then? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It's a weird one. There are these rumors about Punk and his maybe attitude backstage. With issue with Colt Cabana. People are speculating, maybe he's being punished for that, but I don't think AEW. I think with WWE, like with Vince's kind of tactics, I think people have been programmed to think that all companies do this, where they push people to punish them. I don't think that. I don't think that's AEW's MO to sort of punish people, even if maybe they're slightly annoyed with them. So I don't know. It does build intrigue. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You don't really have a long time to build up any kind of challenges. So unless it is Punk again, but I don't know how you get to that match now. I don't know. And you need to build Punk back up because he kind of just got squashed. So I don't know. Maybe you have like Moxley come out and do an open challenge or something. Then maybe MJF shows up. I don't know. It's weird. It's interesting. We'll see what they go, but yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to tell a story with Punk about his kind of come back now, because, and they even teased that they brought up the fact that it was Ace Steel kind of helping him to the back, his former tag team partner, stablemate in Ring of Honor, who he's known, and also his trainer back in the year 99 or whatever. So there might be like a little bit of a Rocky redemption story, you know what I mean, going on here. What do you think, Jacob?
I don't like it. If Punk isn't ready,
I don't like it.
Then just don't do the match. Or if you want to get the title off of him,
it would make sense if they've been holding this hold. He's an interim. So just my idea is, okay, if they think he's months more away, if not longer, this kind of makes sense to me, because it's like, let's at least kill that interim thing, because Moxley doesn't matter until he's the full on champ.
But at the same time, you can just Punk's not ready. He's not going to be back for 4 or 5 more months, whatever. He will. As of this moment, we're stripping him of the title, and Jon Moxley is now your champion.
Well, yeah, there's certainly an argument.
The way they did it sounds more interesting to me than that. I get what you're saying, but
squashing Punk and making him look like he can't hang with Moxley. I don't. And now we're supposed to believe that he's a credible challenger at a later time.
I think if you sell the story of he came too early and he was too cocky, that's a story. That's a legit qualm of Punk should have waited, but he didn't, and he fed the the remorse of that.
I do think interim titles are bullshit. I hate how they do interim titles.
That's the only reason I said let's talk about this first, because just as we got a new world champion, AEW went, well, now we got an interim women's champ, because Thunder Rosa comes out and says, very heartfelt. It felt like she was vacating it at first, because she's got she's holding back tears, and then then finally she almost corrects herself at one point. She goes, interim champion. Remember this? And they set up a 4-way all out. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, and Hikaru Shida. What's everyone's opinion on? Well, we're no longer interim champ, but now we got another interim champ.
No, it's I think she literally said in a thing, she's like, I got to relinquish my title, but then then in the same sentence she said, got interim. It's well, you don't have to relinquish the title.
No, I think she screwed up, because, like I said, you could tell she kind of interim. Oops, that's what I meant to say, because it very much felt like a relinquish and then went a course correction. I meant interim.
But why can't it be a relinquish? I don't. She's going to just.
Pretty sure she's going to lose the title anyway.
Just make someone the woman. Just make someone the women's champion, and then when she comes back, she gets first dibs. It's
it's still a simple. It's still a very easy built-in storyline of, hey, I never lost it. You know what I mean? Instead of saying like, "Hey, look, I really never lost it because you're the only interim champion." It's a little built-in storyline of, hey, I got hurt. I never really lost it. In a match. Where was my match? You know what I mean? Like you could do the same thing without crowning interim because it just seems silly, man. Either there's no good interim champion because you have like the Cody Sami thing where it's like the dude's only missing a couple weeks. Like wait, or if it's too long, then it's like you're gonna have an interim champ for that long. Like I don't know. I don't think it fits either mold, short or long leave.
Yeah, and I just don't. I'm not like, and also like I get why Tony Storm's in the match because she's meant to be in the match to begin with, but then you've got the people you got in the match are people who like I don't know like are always on TV anyway. Whereas you got like a whole like half a division just wrestling on dark because you got nothing else to do. Build other people. I like Britt Baker. I like Jamie Hayter, but like. And I mean, Akara Shida hasn't been, and Akara Shida hasn't been seen for a while, but she's also been a former women's champion. I want some new faces in that kind of role.
Yeah, I would have been okay if Sheeta is the one that screams as a replacement for me because like you said, she hasn't really been like a prime focus on TV, and you could have had someone that hasn't had a shot. That's a fresher blood. The other three, Haters kind of one that's kind of risen from a second fiddle to where I actually think Hater has a shot to win this. I think that would be an interesting story to tell of like maybe Baker has Tony dead to rights or Sheeta dead to rights, and Hater kind of steals it because like, hey, it's my time. I'm not second fiddle. So I think Hater has a shot. I think we could very well see Baker because again, it's interim. So again, I could feel like okay, maybe we'll just give it to Baker for a couple months, while Tony, and then Tony can chase Baker maybe, or
I think if you're looking at the complete package of somebody as a champion, I think even though I think Britt's one that has it. She's got like I think she's got like more interest on her, like charisma, the obviously the mic skills and the wrestling ability. So maybe like to revitalize that division, you give Britt the belt again. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, I do hope that they maybe go. I've been saying this since they started. Going forward, they put more emphasis on the women's division. And yeah,
just need tighter booking, man, because they give them to a degree. They give them the TV time. Like you can't like look at the TV and we go, well, it's just dudes, or well, the matches are only 3 minutes. Like they just need like a tighter booking, like a better philosophy. I think,
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay to have more than one women's match on a show. It's like we've got Thunder Rosa doing something this week, so we're not going to have Jade. Oh, we've got Jade doing this week, so we're going to have Thunder Rosa. It's like you can have both. It's fine.
And you've got 2 shows.
Yeah, and apparently it's rumored that they're getting a 3rd show, which is a women's show.
Really?
Just like I mean, they're cool, but also just push them. But you don't really. I don't feel like they need them. Just push them on TV, on the TV shows you do have. You can find a way anyway.
You are right. I'm looking at I'm all the way back to July now, and there is not a single show that seems to have 2 women's matches. I actually didn't even pick up on that.
Hey, you guys remember in AEW when they said that the rankings mean something?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't updated it for 2 weeks, so I don't know where the other 2 would fall, but Tony Storm and Britt Baker are 1 and 2, but Athena is 3, Anna Jay is 4, and Nyla Rose is 5. But let's throw in Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter instead.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Anna Jay in that spot. Like she's been doing kind of cool stuff with the new sort of gimmick. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I know Nyla Rose is going to be the first challenger for whoever wins.
Yeah,
that's why she's not in the match.
Danny DeVito.
I forgot.
Yeah, she always is.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. You say Danny DeVito.
What's the name of his cartoon that's premiering tonight? Like Little Devil.
I don't know.
You guys are no help.
So weird.
I didn't know he was. You know what Danny DeVito was really good in?
Reno 911 Miami with The Rock, 6 Degrees.
Tim Burton's Batman Returns.
Hey, we should do a top 10.
We should sometime. How about tonight before the show?
Sure. Let me write it down for next week, though. Even though we talked about it like the other day, and I went, Oh, Little Demon. I was right. record, confirm. All right, we're good.
So since we're on AEW
Peacock.
right now, let's talk about this trios tournament they got going on.
All right.
Finally crowning those trios champs with AEW was looking at their roster going, we don't have enough belts.
We don't have enough belts, and they'll probably get more belts. Like there's women. There's like it looks like they have a lot of a few women's tag teams lately. Are they doing women's tag titles eventually as well?
Women's trios, women's SAG titles, waiting for that 24/7 title debut.
So here's my beef with this trios tournament. They have all these established factions, right? Let's throw in the Trustbusters. They deserve a spot.
They have been established recently, though, in the last 2 weeks. Actually, the timing of that was funny because what was it? They debuted them in like a promo. Oh no, Slim J already came out, but then like the segment of Dark where they actually come together aired after they already been like it's just the airing didn't match up. Like they had pre-taped like their first debuting outing, and then all of a sudden they were just together.
The Trustbusters is going to be the most random faction ever. I don't believe that these four people. I don't feel like these four people would hang out in real life.
Also, here's a real quick side tangent. Parker Bordeaux, you've been into NXT, which must have been an okay payday. You're in AEW now, which I'm sure is a decent payday. Did you have to go to highspots.com's clearance section for your tights? He's got the most generic barbed wire tights that I've seen numerous indie workers have. Bro, invest in your gear. That's all I'm saying. You're on AEW television. Get some tights that I haven't seen Joe Schmo wrestle at my local indie. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What was that comment? I didn't even read it.
You got to get some time to scream Slim J. Just.
You know, oh yeah, I know Pez always makes something like, you know what, man? I'm happy Slim J's on TV. He's the dude that's been busting ass for since like another one that's been around since like the early 2000s. So, but again, yeah, super random team of of Ari Davari and Parker Bordeaux. Now Sonny Kiss. At least Sonny Kiss is doing something.
Have the House of Black and Dark Order had their match yet? Or is that going to be on Rampage?
I think that's going to be on Rampage.
Don't go to the Wikipedia page unless you want to be spoiled.
Okay.
Oh shoot, yeah. I didn't even realize this week that it was like a Dynamite bracket and a Rampage bracket. I never even picked up on that.
Yeah.
But when they said the finals and the semifinals this week, I was like, oh, that doesn't add up. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know where we'll put this in, but again, like we'll always rag on WWE how they don't understand like what terms mean, but but AEW doesn't know what an open challenge is. Just gonna be honest, they haven't. Like I feel for me, an open challenge is like the John Cena thing. You come out, oh, who's going to challenge? You don't know who's going to come, but like they go, oh, someone's going to have an open challenge next week, and they just set up the match before the fucking show's over. It's like no,
that's true. Yeah, no, yeah, you're 100% right on that. Yeah, because I mean, I guess technically. In story, it was an open challenge, and this is who answered it. But like to still call it that in retrospect, like after, like usually you see the open challenge. Hey, who wants to come out? And they come out, and they should have just done that because I mean, it's no offense to Ryan Nemeth. I think he's a talented guy that again WWE kind of gave up on too soon. Like it's not like he's a draw, so like he very much could have just been the open challenge answer. Like why spoil it? Just say open challenge.
Yeah. So I mean, like we're getting like Claudio and Dustin, right? And then
good promo by Dustin too. Good way to make me kind of care about a match very quickly.
Yeah, and I love Dustin, and yeah, I think he should at least get the TNT title at some point for his ties. But yeah, I just like
send him to Impact. Grab the Impact title. That's what they did.
Yeah,
with Christian.
But Claudio's like, oh, I'm throwing out an open challenge next week, and anyone else challenge me, and it's like. They should have just left it there, and then Dustin, then it comes out next week. He goes, "All right, who wants to challenge me?" And then Dustin Rhodes music hits. Like, oh shit, go!
No, see, now I'll disagree with you because now that's exactly the opposite of what I said before. Nemeth's not a draw. No offense, like no one's gonna tune in next week. I think to go, let's see if Nemeth gets it. People will tune in now, knowing it's Dustin versus Claudio. You know what I mean? And again, like I just said too, like Dustin cut such a good promo. I'm definitely more invested in this match now based on that promo that I am just simply, oh, Dustin answered the challenge. Okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? So in that case, I do disagree.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're bouncing back and forth here, but like I guess with the trios, I guess it's almost it's a foregone. It's basic. It's obvious it's going to be the partner of Dark Order is going to be Anna Page, right?
Here's my prediction on that, though. I just spitballing here. Hangman Page, yes, obviously. I say with what's going on recently with Punk and everything, and just in general, I think Hangman fucking turns. I think we're gonna see an evil Hangman either because they lose or even before they lose, like just turn on him and be like, "I'm done with this stupid shit. You guys have held me down because we're goofy. I need to be the real cowboy shit." Make him a heel because people want to cheer Punk. That's what I think. I think we're gonna see Hangman accept it, but then turn evil.
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
But I think Dark Order.
I don't want to say anything because I've seen the Wikipedia page and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So I'm just gonna.
I mean,
am I anywhere near right? Or am I totally wrong?
But yeah,
Find out on Friday.
If I'm right, I swear to God, I didn't look at spoilers. If I'm wrong,
but I think the finals are going to be like the Omega and Young Bucks versus Dark Order and probably Hannah Page. That's what I think. That's
so you think Page answers and they go all the way to the finals?
They go to the finals.
I gotta pull up these brackets. I don't even know what they are actually. Let's see, ROH.
I'm calling. I'm
ROH.
I know. We're not doing predictions till next week. Next Friday because the semifinals are on Friday, so we kind of can't do a prediction show on Thursday when we don't even know all the matches until Friday. But call me. I'm going best friends to win this.
I was going to say, looking at these brackets, so you have Dark Order or House of Black or Best Friends. Basically, your three options to face either the Bucks or Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. Which, by the way, I didn't think about that. What we're about to get is going to be pretty cool too, which is Young Bucks
for free on TV
Omega versus Ospreay and Aussie Open. That's going to be a good one.
That's a pay-per-view match too, like that, and we're getting it for free on TV.
Yeah,
even last night's was really good, and I want to talk a little bit more about that match actually in a little bit. Get your opinion on something. But yeah, looking at the other side here, I gotta go with. I think Young Bucks and Omega, I think makes the most sense. Like I wouldn't mind Ospreay getting to the finals, but again, you got to go. I think with Omega's return, and he's that's a real stable that's been in AEW, and yeah, Best Friends. I actually could see Best Friends taken from them. They've already kind of set up that maybe Omega's not quite there yet, so I can see Best Friends getting it.
My nitpick is that like if they're going to do that storyline with CM Punk, that he didn't come back from injury, he came back from injury too soon, but you're already doing this. You're already doing that storyline with him, and you kind of did that storyline with Brian. You kind of did that storyline with Brian Danielson.
And let's reward the guys that have been there from like the beginning and finally give them some time. I mean, kind of like they did with Pac.
They've all come close, and yeah, very like I was gonna say. That's kind of my idea right now is that they've been there day one. They're day one guys like the Usos stuff. They're day one guys that haven't had that come close, Chuck and Trent in tag titles, Trent even in like other title matches, and then of course Cassidy in a couple matches, both TNT and even that the Ospreay match for the US title. So yeah, it would make sense to give them because the Bucks and Omega don't need it right away. I'm sure down the line they could definitely, but I also always look at it too from a standpoint of only one team ever will be the first ever champs, which is almost like an extra accolade. Not only were they trios champions, they were the first trios champions. Omega and the Bucks don't need that second accolade. You know what I mean? Omega's a world champ. Bucks already 2-time. By the time everything's said and done, Bucks will probably be like a 12-time tag champs. Why not give it to Cassidy, who's super over, Trent, who's very talented, and Chuck's there too.
And now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're talking all this out, what if Orange Cassidy gets his revenge on Will Ospreay and pins him to win the titles?
I can see that. I think that'd be a dope match. I think that's good storytelling too. Of one of the matches of the year is kind of getting a recall.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Omega and the Young Bucks were in the finals. Let's be honest. No one would be surprised.
Yeah, like I said, the smart money's on that, but I wouldn't rule out Aussie Open.
Would New Japan let one of their guys get pinned on AEW television?
I think so. I think we've seen it before. I mean, even Joe
Quite a few
technically
of them got
defeated,
pinned
I know, I know, but Will Ospreay's on a different level. He's one of the top, the star dudes.
I think, especially with what Jacob just said, I think they would, because I think it'd be a matter of like, hey, he won the singles match. It is a 6-man tag, which is different from a singles victory. So like, I think he'd eke one out on Osprey. You know, tell a good story of like, oh, they're kind of even now. But I think so.
and
I
then
think
you
they'd
could
be okay with
do,
it.
and then you could do the rubber match. Third match
Yeah.
between Osprey and Cassidy, and Osprey's like, well, you still can't beat me 1-on-1.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's, if it was a 1-on-1 match, maybe not. There might be more politics there. But I think if they're telling the story of a 6-man tag story here, I think that's a story they'd probably be cool with it. Or not. I don't know. I don't work for them.
No, so you said you want to let's since we're on the topic of the trios, let's talk about the match, because I didn't actually watch it yet, but
Match rules. Rules.
It's a
go
good
ahead and
match.
talk about it.
The thing I kind of wanted to talk about more so was I got a little WWE vibes last night, which I don't love, which was the short match for the world title, gave me WWE vibes, and the Kip Sabian interference in a really great straightforward match gave me WWE vibes, because we've seen mostly straightforward matches, and now we're kind of getting to that point where, you know, they didn't really win clean. They won because of Kip Sabian to a degree.
Well, yeah, I guess what I get, and I guess too, it's like with WWE, you know, sometimes people get distracted when they need not that they don't need to be distracted. Whereas like Kip Sabian was just doing his regular shtick, having, you know, kind of being in the crowd with a box on his head, although it wasn't. It turned out it wasn't him, but like the person who had the box on it wasn't actually doing anything abnormal. He's just there, and then but then Park decided to look at him for a while. And it's like, dude, just get on with your match. And then then Kip Sabian attack him from behind. But it's like, yeah, it's weird that he would choose that time just to look at a guy that's been in the front row for ages, for weeks now. It's like now he's distracted by it for some reason.
I didn't even know Kip Sabian was still employed by the company.
Yeah, he's been he's been the guy with the box on his head most of the time in the crowd.
I do wonder though if there's ever other times, because like if I was him, like, hey, can you just put somebody else underneath the box this week? Can I stay home? Like, I do wonder if it was always him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, can Joey just? Oh wait.
But I mean, it's good that like Kip Sabian's getting a sort of a renewed push, and people were chanting Kip, which is interesting. But yeah, and maybe we get an Atlanta Championship match on TV, and not
Kip versus Pac
in on AEW Dynamite, not like from somewhere in Europe. That's kind of just
it's the All Atlantic, Richie. They have to defend it everywhere in the Atlantic.
Okay. But yeah.
And never on AEW, even though it's an AEW title.
Yeah. But I would say watch it just because, if nothing else, for that the style of match with Ray Phoenix and Will Ospreay, that was quite spectacular. And really, I think the crowd were kind of in a lull after the Moxley, and even though that's a hometown guy. But I think they were kind of in shock, you know, how Moxley won. So it took a while to get going, and I think that the match picked the crowd up, you know, a bit. Like not. I think they would have been higher had that Moxley thing not happened, but the way it did. But yeah, they got into the match pretty well.
Yeah, where was Dynamite yesterday? Was in Cleveland. Moxley's from Cincinnati. It's not quite the same thing.
I know, but they acting like he's a hometown dude,
right? Which is kind of like he's from the state. Yes, it's like I'm pretty sure the WWE did the same thing with Daniel Bryan, because he's from Aberdeen, Washington. But anytime they went to Seattle, it'd be like, oh, and the hometown guy is here. I'm like, no. As someone from the state of Washington, Seattle and Aberdeen are not the same thing.
I feel like they're not going to
go. Seattle's the big city, and Aberdeen is like just this smaller town. Like,
what venue are they going to go to? Aberdeen?
Right. I mean, that's also where Kurt Cobain is from lead singer for Nirvana. So shout out to the Seattle music scene.
I don't know. I guess technically as well. Like I'm pretty sure Moxley lives in Vegas, so that could be a hometown too.
Right?
He lives there.
No, it's just going back to it. It's weird if is it weird if Punk is not on the show in Chicago? If he is, if this is a storyline.
This would
Well,
be
no, if it's a storyline, then he should be there. Maybe it's just a kind of like do a little bit of an explanation, you know?
Right.
Like, sorry, I let you down.
I
don't like it because it feels rushed
dirty.
and it doesn't it feels like they don't know what they're doing.
It also marked the second time that AEW's held a major show in Chicago and Punk's not been on the show because Forbidden Doors in Chicago.
Chicago and Punk have problems.
And wasn't Cleveland the city where Punk walked out of WWE?
Maybe that's what they're telling us. Yeah.
It was after the Royal Rumble in 2014.
Yeah.
But see, that was in Pittsburgh. Did they go to Ohio that fast?
How far is it between the two?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. So it'd be Raw of January 27, 2014.
I just realized the photo of me and Kip Sabian. Look, I'm wearing the same shirt.
It's not weird at all.
Yeah. You think that is Kip Sabian? I think it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Did he talk to you?
Just a lot of nodding.
Okay.
Kitty.
He's got a very distinct accent.
Yeah, it was Raw, January 27th, 2014 was from Cleveland, Ohio.
Maybe that's a story they're telling. I don't know.
Oh,
and I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I also believe it's where he lost his UFC debut.
I think if anybody would know. Yeah.
So, if that's what they're going, that's like, let's. So yeah, let's.
So it was UFC 203, whatever that was.
What?
Cleveland, Ohio. Mayasik versus Overeem. You are correct.
Uh-huh.
He lost to Mickey Gale in 214.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that. Yeah, I think.
And that's sad. His next one was Chicago, Illinois. That's where he lost the second match
To a guy named Mike Jackson.
But at least he lasted 5 minutes. And it's not the Mike Jackson who was like the 70-year-old wrestler who was on TNA recently.
The longest old school. I think he's still walking. And he's still walking out
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
So just a weird coincidence, or is it?
I think he might have cracked something, man. I think he might be on something.
Interesting. I like it. You know what else I liked about this week? What, Jordan? What is that?
Well, I thought it was a rhetorical question, and you were just going to tell us. Because
the
if you don't say,
my boy Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling got even a baby wrestling chant going. Monday Night Raw, he returned to the ring, even getting a little bit of a scuffle with former Way partner Austin Theory. When's he gonna get Austin back? Or just Theory?
It's just Theory.
I know. Well, I'm saying maybe he'll get Austin back. Angel Garza got Angel back, evidently. So I'm excited to see Gargano back. I had always kind of predicted, even before the Triple H thing with Vince, I always kind of felt like, well, he's not popping up anywhere else. Knowing Johnny a little bit, I mean, super a little bit, but I just mean more so as like a fan. but I did meet him a couple times. Nice dude. And like right here. I was like, there's no way this dude's retiring. Like, I could almost see Candace potentially retiring. I hope not, but maybe. Johnny's not going to retire. Johnny's wrestling for the rest of his life, if he can. So I was like, he hasn't done Impact. He hasn't done, you know what I mean? None of these big indies, PWG. Like, he's chilling for a reason. He's chilling to be a dad, and he'll be back in WWE. And we saw it Monday. What's everyone's feelings about Johnny wrestling back on our WWE television?
I like how it's just a genuine surprise. Like, you don't get those anymore. Where it's just like, you know, they didn't build to it. They just like they came and just this music randomly hit. I think the crowd didn't know.
Well, so far with WWE, that's what they've done in the Paul era. I mean, Dakota Kai was just a straight up holy shit. There's Dakota Kai. Oh shit, there's Dexter
Cross.
Oh shit, Karrion Kross and then Scarlett. Like, there really
and
hasn't been like
Hit Row.
Yeah. Even though that screwed up our show on Saturday, that's besides the point.
Because who didn't want to see Hit Row come back and feud with the Maximum Male Models?
At least we'll find. You know what? When they actually wrestle, it should be a good match. Unless the male models wrestle weird now, but I mean they're talented dudes. Masse and I don't even know
Mansoor.
Maybe the DIY. Maybe down the line, I like what they're doing with Ciampa. I think Organo can stand on his own. I think those two are destined to feud and tag more because you know what I mean. I think there's juice left on now doing it on a bigger scale. But I said give Johnny time to kind of acclimate by himself, and then down the line maybe need a partner or have Ciampa turn on him or something. I think we're not done, but not yet.
Maybe I'm wishful thinking here, but I would love to if they had a main title feud in a main event WrestleMania. That'd be awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's more juice for it to be had, and I think it would be cool. I mean, maybe you are dreaming a little too big. I was gonna start at a SummerSlam Intercontinental title match. You know what I mean? Because one thing that I have enjoyed is that it does seem like Triple H is trying to make those titles matter again. You know, only to matches, having nice lengthy matches here. I was down seeing Ciampa rocking the Harley race robe for his one, AJ Styles recently. So I'm down to see the mid-card titles matter again, especially now when you only have a temporary champion. It makes sense to have your other titles at least matter.
Yeah.
I mean, they did Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in NXT, and it wasn't long after both of them were on the main roster that we got them at a pay-per-view. So I could see them. I could see them revisiting the feud. Not right away because maybe we get Theory and Gargano first.
That's what I'm saying. Let us
because the Money in the Bank winner always
introduce Gargano first. Yeah.
Because the Money in the Bank winner always has to go on a losing streak before they cash in and win. I mean, it's just the way it's been.
I do love Owens and Zayn though. That's a special story. How cool is that this was a Ring of Honor feud, first a tag team, then a feud that got to WrestleMania. That's pretty cool.
I think what would be cool to cap it off too. I wouldn't mind if they're the guys to beat Usos for the tag titles.
I feel like Usos will lose the titles by the time we get to that being even a possibility. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate that match itself will probably be a banger.
Triple H is bringing back so many guys. The Usos are only losing the titles to a returning tag team, and that tag team is Braun Strowman and Nicholas. Those are the only two that can take the titles off of the Usos. Let's be honest with ourselves. Nicholas has to be 18 in a couple years. So
jokes aside, I see Braun Strowman coming back. I do see.
I've always said what would be a great story is wait until there's some jacked up dude in NXT who they don't necessarily have an idea for. Call him Nicholas. It doesn't have to be the same kid. Just give that gimmick to some kid of all right, Braun, I promised you I'd be back. You know what I mean? Totally go for it. I guess Parker Burdell was too young, but somebody like him, they were just we got this guy, we gotta have something for him. Make him Nicholas.
Yeah, why not?
Homework's done.
There's a the rumor that Triple H is not done bringing guys back. The name that's been brought up recently is a guy that's been doing pretty well for himself. So I don't know if he would come back. It's Jono, Bronson Reed.
I mean, he's done well for himself, but I don't think he's done well enough to where I don't see why he wouldn't give it a shot again. Yeah. Especially with
he's getting such a huge push in G1. He beat Okada.
Oh well, then maybe I didn't even know that. So I'm not paying attention.
If you beat Okada, why are you? Why are you trying to look somewhere else?
He might try to do it a little longer. But I mean, even somebody like a Shinsuke and a Finn Balor sooner or later kind of move on. So I could see him maybe sticking out for a little bit longer to just build even more cred. But he would make sense, man. I'm sure we're not done in a weird way. Like, this might sound weird. I hope he kind of slows down, because it's going to get to the point where like every week we're like, what now, Triple H?
Well, now everyone who got released in 2020 is now back. Okay, cool.
When is Mike Chioda coming back then?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
Bring back Mike.
I'm waiting for Matt Cardona, baby, the Deathmatch King. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time.
I feel like he could come back. I know she's working on multiple promotions, but like Ty Valkyrie and maybe John Morrison and Johnny Drip Drip.
Johnny Drip Drip, just in case we weren't sure who you meant.
Yeah, no.
Why did he never use the name Johnny Entertainment in the WWE? Like, it's just
a solid question. It's right there, man. It's right in front of you.
I mean, he changed from Johnny Nitro to, and they didn't even do Monday Night Nitro. That was WCW. So
it was in honor of Eric Bischoff, who was the GM at the time.
Because
weren't they a SmackDown team?
No, he was on Raw. He was assistant manager on Raw.
Yep, no, but I thought Eminem were a SmackDown team when they did.
Eminem were, but when he was Nitro, he was by himself on Raw for a little bit.
He was by himself on Raw, and then I think they were giving him a push, but then gave up pretty quickly, and so then he got repackaged and put on.
When he was with Bischoff, like they treated him almost. Well, he was pretty damn new, but like he was mostly squashed, like on that original run on Raw when he was wrestling. Because for the most part, he was just kind of a character, and then finally Eminem came out legit.
Well, it's funny. He won a title in Australia recently, and he was Johnny Down Under.
Oh, he's been everything now. I know. Eric Rowan Spider. Oh man, what could have been with Eric Rowan?
There's another guy, Eric Rowan. They can bring him back.
Rowan's possibility. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. Maybe if I was Triple H, I would be so hard on getting Wyatt back. I think that's a guy that is missed in wrestling that deserves to be pushed. Oh man.
Yeah,
I hope.
I feel like that's a guy though. I feel like that's a guy that you don't just bring him back on a regular show though. You don't bring him back.
No, I agree. That's why I'm almost almost waiting in a way of like he's not just he's in the crowd this week. So that's why I'm not like mad yet, because I'm like I hope he's someone that will pop up sooner than later,
and not as like the fifth man of a Survivor Series team.
Although, I know, I do agree. Something more juicy and special,
and not a car crash. And I actually like the way they're reintroducing Dexter Lumis.
It was different, man. It was different if you were paying attention. I guess my brother fast forwarded through, and I was like, "What was up with that car crash?" And he's like, "What?" Because it was shot in such a nonchalant way. Yeah. But it's very chalant way, because WWE obviously would just pick a different area to shoot in. So you're like, nah, there's a reason that's like being shown.
Right. And then like you just see Adam Pearce talking to security or whatever. And in the background they're dispersing, and it's
being towed, and there's a dumpster on fire or a trash can on fire. Yeah.
I mean, and who didn't tear up during NXT when we saw the reunion of the Index? If you didn't cry, you have no soul.
Which I'm glad too. I'm glad they that they kind of put a button on that. You know what I mean? I'm glad they didn't just like, okay, Dexter's on Raw, screw it, we're done now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mandy and Otis, change the show and just let's never talk about him again.
I feel like Mandy's going to be maybe brought up here soon, so maybe they do something. Maybe they just do it, even if they do like a one-off segment. It's like, oh hey, yeah. It's like
put it on Raw. It's like, hey, looking good, Mandy.
So are you thinking she loses at Worlds Collide?
I would, because I'm a really huge fan and she's underrated. I'd give the win to Satomura. She's so good. But yeah, and then have her be the next. Yeah, I feel like Mandy's proven herself that she's gotten a lot better, and she's proven herself, and I'd like to run NXT. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's time for to introduce that character to the the main roster and maybe bring Toxic Attraction with it, because Toxic Attraction were actually been on like when they on SmackDown recently. Yeah.
Also valid.
Almost had your shot, Jacob. You're so close.
Was it like it wasn't like Toxic Attraction like Gigi Dolan and like when they on like I think on SmackDown recently they got taken out of the tournament because I think Gigi Dolan's got a concussion or something.
Yeah,
she
I
got
was going to
injured.
mention that later in the news. Congrats to them debuting on SmackDown. And then, unfortunately, bad timing because Gigi did get injured. So they wanted to debut. They had a nice little hype package before they came out. Just kind of showcasing who they are. They made sense to me in the tournament too, instead of a random pairing of Zoe and Nikki or whatever.
If the replacement team wins, are they just the interim women's tag team champions until Toxic Attraction comes back?
No.
I mean, that's the one thing I liked about WWE. I like that they don't do interim champions. Finn Balor got injured. Well, guess what? He's just not the champion anymore.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins got injured. Well, guess what? He's just not the champion anymore. But he came back and he was first in line.
How it goes usually. AEW is trying to reinvent the wheel, and as I've said before in booking meetings, guys, sometimes the wheel ain't broken. Don't try to fix it. You know what I mean?
Well, I know it's a universe. Yeah, I know it's a universal thing, but it's always AEW versus WWE nowadays, and usually people are leaning more towards AEW because they're the hot new thing. But no, I think WWE does it right in this case.
Yeah,
no, I mean that's what's normally done. TNA, anybody, Impact. I would say TNA still.
Yeah, I'm always going to say TNA, but yeah, but I think the only time I can think of it being done is remember when I think Rey Mysterio won the title on Raw, and then John Cena came back that night, and then they had a unification match on that same show, and Rey lost. Unfortunately, I remember that happening. It was I think that was the only time.
I don't think it was it wasn't a unification match because it was an entirely new championship. John Cena just got the first title shot, and it just happened to be the same night. The unification match was the Punk and Cena at, I believe, was it SummerSlam of that year?
No, Money in the Bank.
No, Money in the Bank is where Punk won and left.
Oh yeah, because then Punk won again, but then they had a cash in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Punk cried and left a year and a half later.
Well, speaking of crying, my wallet, because Impact Wrestling announced for the first time in 10 years an action figure line. I'm excited. By Cella Toys. The Series 1 will be Eddie Edwards, Moose, Jordan Grace, get out your OnlyFans account, Jacob, and Deanna Purrazzo. Cella Toys they've been mostly kind of doing Mattel toys, as in those kinds, but this will be more in the line of a current Elite or a current AEW Unmatched, which is pretty cool, man. As an action figure fan as a kid, it really sucked trying to have a WWF guy fight a WCW guy, and they were so different. So I'm jealous of kids nowadays that can have an ultimate roster and have Kenny Omega fighting Seth Rollins and be as smooth as possible. And now for Impact, having their first toys in over 10 years, which is pretty cool if you don't count micro brawlers, which you shouldn't. I mean, they're not quite action figures. They're kind of cool collectibles.
They're just collectibles, yeah. That you get
I know some people put them in the action, and I like micro brawlers. I still have a decent collection. I've calmed down on continuing the collection to a degree, but I have a really good collection, including some of the OG ones. And but yeah, I don't want to call them. They're more kind of tchotchkes, collections. But no, I'm excited for them to have their first. I know MLW even said that they were coming out with some. So we're getting some good action figures now, man. I think we're at the point now where it's adults collecting as well. So pretty dope. I think especially Series 1, I might just do it just kind of like AEW. All right, man, I'll have one of each kind of thing, for Impact, because you can kind of keep up nice.
Well, I'm glad Impact's seeing some of that more exposure that way too, and get some more, get some sort of still in the consciousness. I thought it'd be cool. I think obviously, I mean, it's probably too late for it to do it, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if on the AEW game, where you could if they had their working relationship, you could unlock Impact guys.
That'd be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind down the line some DLC unless they have just so many AEW guys they left off. But yeah, I don't see why not. I wouldn't be surprised if it. WWE, they usually have archive titles. If you can unlock the Impact World title and defend that if you want, you know what I mean? So that'd be cool. Impact, one of the most interesting things Impact has done for merch recently too in the last couple of years. They've reintroduced the VHS. That's right. If you want a copy of Bound for Glory, you can get one on VHS if you're inclined.
Yeah, I did see that they were advertising that. I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean,
We're doing the news from 1997.
Well, Impact wasn't around in '97, so I don't think so. No, they have several. They have a couple different shows available on VHS, which doesn't make any sense to me. I get why people like records because records do legit sound different than a CD, but a VHS is just a shittier version of a DVD or a streaming. So I don't get it.
I want to watch my pay-per-view with lines on the screen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, God forbid, like if the tape runs out or you get and like there really is no like technical benefits of a VHS other than simply nostalgia and like, hey, look at this case.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably wishful thinking at this point, but like the I do want them to have somewhat sort of redemption and have their own kind of game because they had Impact game what 2008 or whatever 2010.
Just one of them, yeah.
Not a very good game either.
It's slightly underrated. It's just there's not a huge ton of replay value, and it's not the greatest. It's not that bad though. Like it's one of those like solid like 6, 7 out of 10, like worth giving a shot. Oh my God, Papa West.
Jesus.
I don't need to know, but if they do go on sale, send me the link.
Yeah. I guess with the Impact game, the most notable thing about it is that we got the character Suicide.
Yeah. Debut of Suicide, voiced by Low-Key, I think, in the video game. And yeah, it's continued to be a staple. I don't think they've done it too recently. They did it like a year or so ago. That. Yeah, Kazarian, Daniels, even Jonathan Gresham for a while. My boy TJ Perkins. If you want to hear the history of TJ Perkins' of Suicide, check out my interview. You son of a bitch! I'm allowed to advertise my other shows. Once again, that's over at Pierce Wrestling. That interview with TJ Perkins.
Oh,
exclusive matches.
Do you know who portrayed him in 2020?
Caleb Conley,
Trey,
Jonathan Gresham, TJ Perkins, Christopher Daniels, Frank Kazarian, me, you,
Zachary Wentz.
Oh, Zachary Wentz. If you had let me Google it, I would have known.
Well, that's not how trivia works.
Zachary Wentz currently back on the Indies. Works for Sami Callahan's Revolver promotion.
Hey, you feel free to use that question in Wrestling with Trivia.
And also he's back in the Indies, but
none of them watch the show.
They're doing the Rascals, not with it's Trey, Jackie Wentz, and Myron Reed from MLW.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I didn't know about Myron. I guess Myron's a new addition, but I mean, yeah, you got Wesley still under contract. He had a weird match on NXT not too long ago where it's like a half boxing match rounds with Carmelo Hayes' guy Trick Williams. That was kind of a weird match. Okay. Not bad though. I didn't hate it.
I haven't watched NXT in so long.
I feel like I need to get back into
just the index stuff, evidently.
Well, yeah, I mean that was on YouTube. Which, by the way, AEW posted the clip of Moxley versus Punk and called it the full match. And if you hadn't watched AEW yet and you're like, oh well, let me see, just go to the clips, and you see full match and the clip is like less than 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess we're talking about NXT. We should probably there's also big news on NXT front. They're closing down NXT UK and doing at what's Collide. They're doing Tyler Bate versus Braun Breaker. Even though they gave away Tyler Bate winning the title before they gave it away.
Even though he's not the champion yet.
Yeah.
Oh, now he is. That has aired. That has aired finally.
Okay.
It's actually I have my screensaver on. It's actually on right now. I'm watching it.
Oh.
Sort of watching while I talk to you.
But yeah, they're going to go away for a few months, and then next year they're bringing NXT Europe tributes.
Yeah. Well, they released like 15 guys, and they also debuted like 7 of them. So.
Yeah, and I feel like the people they've released will probably, a lot of them will probably just come back. I feel like it was just like, oh, hey, we're starting up this new thing. like in the
It's a cost-cutting thing. I mean, unfortunately, it's business. At the end of the day,
It could also
like,
just be like maybe they didn't want to travel.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
Maybe.
hey, we're starting up NXT Europe, but it's not going to be until next year. Are you welcome to come and wrestle NXT NXT in America? Or if you want to wrestle.
Well, there's also only so many spots. Like, I definitely will think not all of them were invited to America because you can only do so much. You know what I mean? You already have Pretty Deadly there. They debuted Gallus. They debuted Bate. They debuted one of the girls. Like, there's only so many spots.
Yeah, the former D Priestley.
Yeah, be a person popping up.
I have to think like people like there are people like Trent Seven and people like there's a there's a dude named Dave Mastiff. I think they're pretty high on. There's a few people I have to think that they'll get brought back in, like because especially if you want I think Mustache Mountain would be great on the NXT and maybe potentially.
What do you mean? They're former NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, no, briefly.
Had some bangers with not DIY, Undisputed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Trent Seven was one of the bigger surprises as far as being released, in my opinion, because I think he was a fan favorite, even though I think he was a heel at this point, right? Because I haven't been watching.
That's what it looks like.
I'll be honest, but
he's feuding with Bate actually.
Yeah,
because that's who Bate beat for the title, right? In the finals.
Believe.
Or did he beat someone else?
No,
which isn't a spoiler because NXT spoiled it themselves.
Yeah, no, he just beat one of the Gallus guys. Trent came out.
I think he beat Wolfgang, right? I think that was one.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wrestling News, where we kind of guess about NXT UK.
I'm gonna fact check that now.
I hope JD, whatever his name is now, gets his name. Jordan Devlin. I hope he gets his name. He goes,
defeated Trent Seven in the final of a tournament.
For me, oh, maybe that's why. Oh no, then I didn't see the finals. I was watching the semifinals. That's why.
No, because it says it will air on tape delay on September 1st.
That's why I'm watching the semifinals. That's okay. Which makes sense because I was like, wait, this is the final episode.
Yeah, he's been champion for 50 plus days already, but it hasn't even aired yet. By the time it airs, he'll be champion for almost 2 months.
But I would keep Jordan Devlin as JD McDonough just simply because they've done it. To me, it would be even sillier to just be like, nah, never mind. He's Jordan again.
The JD stands for Jordan
D's
Devlin.
Been done. Exactly. The D's been done. So just keep McDonough. It's a fine enough name too. It's not like it got shittier. So
yeah,
like Gunther.
I'm very high on that guy. I hope he does well.
Yeah.
He does well in the roster. He does look like Finn Balor a lot. So maybe I don't.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Like that's the only bad thing about like starting off as a challenger for a title. Like, where do you kind of go from here? So hopefully they find something good for him.
Did you hear that? Speaking of Finn Balor, did you see that he got new music on Raw?
Oh no!
Again?
Well, like it's basically it's like they got rid of the Osprey song, but it's like a slowed down version of his actual theme song, and then they kind of made it more spooky. It's weird. It's more.
You think he'll ever appear as the demon in Judgment Day?
Possible.
It's possible. I feel like it's a babyface character though. So
right.
I don't know if he wrestles more violently, and like you know what I mean. Maybe it's like plays around with the makeup. I think he could fit. I mean, they're spooky weirdos anyway, so it's in the realm of what they're doing. You know.
I guess like Dexter Lumis is a creep and a weirdo. And evidently, he's a babyface. I think.
Yeah.
And he works as a
babyface. People thought he was going to feud with AJ. It looks like he might just be in love with AJ or his buddy.
He kidnapped the Miz, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it looks like he's buddies with AJ, or he wants to be.
Yeah.
Or he's just trying to throw the Miz off this whole time.
My good friend Sam Shaw.
Why are you after me? Maybe this is just a way to give Miz some time off. Miz just needs some time off.
You got to film Miz and Mrs. season 4.
He's got to film the Marine 12.
That's not unless he's a ghost because he's definitely in the last one.
Spoiler alert: Becky Lynch to a night.
Becky Lynch murders him. That's a true story. Yeah, Shawn. You know who's alive? Shawn Michaels' character though.
Yeah,
Like they haven't brought characters back from the dead before in movies.
This isn't Fast and Furious.
You're telling me Michael Myers survived a burning building, but the Miz can't
All the
survive
time.
a stab?
All the time. And hey, Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends is going to be on the Peacock
Soon.
So I don't got to go to a theater, which is nice.
Soon. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed Halloween Kills. I'm one of the. I guess I'm in the minority there because I really enjoyed it.
I thought they made the characters look like idiots.
That's it, man. Like that's the problem. There's just too many of like bad decisions. I mean, you got the two awesome like the gay characters, Little John, Big John, and Big John just kind of stares at him because okay, he dies because of whatever. The dad who like, all right, instead of waiting for backup, I'm gonna go in by myself. So he's screwed. You have the weird like nurse girl who like
Adrenaline will do that to you.
He disappears for 12. She disappears, and then like he like kicks the door so she ricochets and shoots her own head off. Like you have the first old couple who again the lady just kind of stares and like I don't know, man. It was weird.
We watch a product where a guy has been buried alive 12 times and has come back.
Yeah, but the stories was written better. I didn't hate it. It's an easy watch. I watched it twice.
Very close together. But yeah, like you got Anthony Michael Hall, whose whole identity is Michael Myers. Like he literally goes to an open mic night and goes, "Oh, we remember Michael Myers." I'm like, well, way to bring down the crowd, man. It's like he's just such a, I don't know, his whole identity.
Also, too, in that timeline, like don't forget this is the new timeline where like only in this point in that storyline, like the only thing that happened was that one night. So like honestly, half that bar would be like, no, we don't remember.
It was 30 years ago. You bring this up every week.
No one gives a shit.
I'm from out of town. What's he talking about?
Yeah, what is he talking about? Why is the drunk guy on stage?
I'm from Connecticut.
Can someone get him therapy?
We get it. You were 6 and like kind of like, you know, a guy chased after you for a hot minute. You're good. Move on.
Dude, this is
But I think also people are trying to like look at it as its own movie, which I can understand. But at the same time, you got to think of it at it's the middle of a trilogy also. So keep that in mind when you're watching this. Like I don't think it was ever. It is, but that's the problem. Ending.
There's a lot of things that are done simply to get to a third instead of it being a solid second. You know what I mean? Like even at the one point at the end, Judy Greer like has him dead to rights. Instead stops so she can like take the mask to where like the people are. It's like, no, you got him. Stab him a couple more times. Like, what are you doing?
and then she eats it because you know.
And then she eats it because for some reason she wants to be looking through the window like him. What was that motivation? Why does Judy Greer feel the need to go upstairs by herself?
I will say the flashback scenes that they shot were incredibly well done.
Those were, man, spot on to. It was both CGI and like just a really good like makeup to make Donald Pleasance again. Like whoa, like and they made it look like the 70s movie. Yeah, like as far as effects wise, dope.
Yeah, and a lot better than the Rob Zombie Halloween's. Rob Zombie who had one of Edge's theme songs there. Now we've tied it back into wrestling, so Halloween discussion is warranted.
Well, now I'm going to undo it and say the Munsters looks horrible.
It looks terrible. Stop casting a one thing.
No joke. It looks terrible, but I almost guarantee I'm going to have a hell of a fun time with it.
I don't know, man. That trailer did not scream hell of fun. That trailer looked like it was a fan-made trailer for like a concept.
It looks like a movie you'd catch on Tubi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like
like Hunter X or something like that.
I mean, we had a little bit more plot. No, Hunter X.
Do you have more of a budget than Rob Zombie?
The way it looks like we might have. I mean, I don't know. Rob Zombie shot that on. I don't know what he shot that on.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's a funny thing because there's movies that have been shot on like iPhones now that look really good. So
yeah. That's all you need. I was saying that recently at a wrestling show. He's like, because I told him I can help film, and he's like, "Oh, what are we filming on?" And I'm like, "My phone." And I'm like, "Because honestly, it looks as good as any camera that you probably could buy, you know, for several $100s. You know what I mean? Unless you got like a studio camera that's like, 12 grand or something, or 1200. Like, the phones are just as good as any cheap camcorder now.
Yeah. Well, this discussion has turned into Halloween and cameras. So, you guys got anything else, or?
Nah, we can wrap it up here, man. It's good to have a little bit of a shorter catch-up show.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, man.
All right.
Although now it's ending, we're really petering out now.
I'm gonna ask a question now, and I'll ask Austin
Yeah.
next week when he's on as well. What do you think will be the show of the weekend next weekend? Because we've got 3. We've got All Out, we've got Clash at the Castle, and we've got Worlds Collide. So, I mean, and WWE's been putting on a good product lately, and I feel like their pay-per-views are always at least somewhat decent. Even if their weekly shows leading up to them haven't been, but their pay-per-views premium live events have always been.
I guess
somewhat decent.
yeah, the match I'm looking forward to, and hopefully it steals the show. Is I'm glad that Sheamus is finally getting an Intercontinental title match. I think that it's going to be a banger with Gunther.
That's going to be the match. I think that could be the match of the weekend.
They're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's going to be great.
It's either that or Jericho and Danielson.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Daniel Garcia is being made into a star, and I am here for it.
Yes, Dragon Slayer. Yeah, but that's a hard question, man, because I feel they all have the potential to be good, and I hope one of them ends up being great. Because I like Drew a lot. Drew and Roman doesn't exactly make me jump over that moon. Same thing with AEW, though. Like, I don't know what that main event's going to be, so I'm hard pressed to go whole hog on that. And while NXT is usually good, I'm just slightly less invested right now. Even though there might be good matches, as far as investment, I'm missing a little bit here. So it's hard to choose between those 3. I'll still probably go AEW because I think there's some really interesting undercard matches that they're building in now. But I think anyone has a chance to do it, especially WWE. It's a decent card, and I think Sheamus and Gunther, as you said, is a really cool. Like after I saw Sheamus win it, I went, you know what, that really kind of checks out as far as like a good match. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta put the UK guys on in the UK, right? So
yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah, I also feel like sometimes the Dynamite sometimes felt like oh wait, we got a pay-per-view to build to, because it's like you got the Acclaim getting a tag title shot with like very little build. It's like
yeah. And it's very face too, so I'm like hard pressed to be like, well, who am I rooting for here? I'm rooting for everybody, which is not great.
But at the same time with that, it feels like they're doing a tag team title match like every other week in AEW.
That's not
so it's like
at all.
I mean, I feel like it was with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They were defending them almost every other week on TV.
Meanwhile,
or it felt like it was every other. It felt like it was every other week. It felt like they just had a lot of TV defenses.
Meanwhile,
to the pay-per-views.
Swerve in my car. Yes, I swerve in my car.
You haven't had the TNT title defended in a year on pay-per-view.
That's because it's the TNT title and not a pay-per-view title.
Build up someone for Wardlow. Okay. I want to see him anyway.
So Lucha Express, or Jungle Express, Lucha Express.
Jungle Express. I like it.
162 days. They defended it once in January, once in February, twice in March, once in April, and once in May, and then lost it in June. So no.
Maybe it just feels like they have a lot of tag title defenses on TV.
Well, there's also even for Swerve and I guess that match with Woods and whatever Nice was not a tag title match evidently.
Tony Nese.
Yeah.
And then we had a tag title match on Rampage. It was like them and Private Party.
Yeah, that was their first defense. Yeah.
Which is just
so
random.
The Young Bucks actually had 0 defenses. I didn't even notice that.
Okay.
They won and then
they won and then lost.
And then they lost at Fyter Fest, which was
very surprising.
Yeah. Interesting.
Of all the teams to be transitional champions.
See, I could disagree with that too, because that actually makes sense, because they'll have it again. So, like, you know what I mean? You don't want.
Yeah, I just feel like you don't expect the Young Bucks to.
True. No, I do agree with that too. Yeah, like I would like I said, I was surprised to see like, oh wow, they won it in June, lost in July, or whatever it was. Like they had 0 defenses. I was surprised to see that.
Do you know a match I'm quietly looking forward to on All Out? Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
I hope Hobbs destroys him.
You
I hope
shut your
Starks
mouth.
gets like
You shut.
little to no offense in,
Oh,
and
shut
he
your mouth.
comes. Then he just goes on like this big baby face run, and just and eventually gets his win back from Hobbs. Oh,
Jacob West, would you like to be the new Jacob of Lonely Marks next week? Nah, dude, I love Stark so much. Nah, I don't even know who I'm necessarily rooting to win because I like them both. But I definitely want like a competitive back and forth match where they at least both look good.
well, man, we'll see what happens. No, I do like Starks, and I'm glad they're going on a face run with him. Man, I could see him being TNT champion, holding that
Absolutely,
title for a long time.
I can see him being the main champion in a couple of years. I think.
Yeah. I've been a Stroke Daddy fan for a while.
Yeah. When you lean back that far, all we see is
you got two heads.
Picture of you and Gargano.
I know, that's all you need to see.
Gargano, more like Gargag. Yes, am I right?
Am I right, guys?
Am I right? Okay, that was dumb. I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna call it a night. Richie, you do things. Tell people about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be on Capital Tournament 5 episodes here. I think the next one I'm on is believes the part 2 of Austin's 128. And I'm also you can also find me on Jono's channel a lot. I did picks and lists. Don't watch that. I did pretty bad. But eventually, sometimes I do all right in that.
How many complaints were there that the champion wasn't there?
Just only about 7, which is a new, just very.
Well, that champion needs to step up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Just I don't know, maybe. But it's just it's a way to keep your reign going. But yeah, and other than that, you can find me around all the trivia sort of spaces here. And then next week we'll do a prediction show for. Are we going to do a prediction show for World Collide, or are we just going to do a prediction show for?
We'll just do All Out and Clash.
Clash, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that should be fun. But yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, Clash, which is being aired at 10 a.m. for me. So that'll be fun to eat my breakfast too.
Usually the pay-per-view that air at 10 a.m. here, but obviously that's going to be maybe later in the afternoon now. I don't know when it's going to air. But,
it's like usually for your big wrestling shows, you're getting your pizza and your snacks, and it's like, how about some hash browns and some eggs? Maybe some Fruit Loops. Jordan, you also do things, so tell people about it.
Yes, as Richie said, you'll see me popping up on here from time to time. Not only just the Lonely Marcus, but also maybe some tournament fights. Maybe I'll be hosting Frenzy in a few weeks. My tournament fights is coming up pretty soon. My 128 part 1. I just resent the list to Jordan just now. Barber might be there. That's gonna be a lot of fun here. Over at the Pierce Wrestling channel, my interview with TJ Perkins, as mentioned before, but as well as other interviews with pro wrestlers, exclusive matches, trivia, including the King of Wrestling with Trivia tournament, and then the newly announced over at the Pierce Co channel, the King of ASAT tournament, a show about trivia, movie trivia, starting 16-man tournament. It's actually more than 16 man because we're going to have some qualifiers, but Richie did qualify already. He will be facing Malcolm Ingram. Some people know him as Malcolm Lay. So that's going to be a great round 1 match. Jacob Barber is either going to be in it or co-hosting some matches with me. So he'll be involved one way or the other here. And I'm in it because I run things. So, of course, I qualified already. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I face Alan Shepard, Spachemin. So check that out. All those fun things. And I'm still involved in Real Pro Wrestling as well. Check that out on YouTube. We got our 7th anniversary show on Saturday. Originally supposed to feature Top Dollar until Top Dollar got signed and said, I'm busy. So, but it's still going to be a great night of some matches and moments here over at Real Pro. I believe it should be streaming on Heel Kevin Twitch's channel, so everyone can watch it on Saturday. Maybe we can all watch it and we can critique Real Pro Wrestling.
Oh,
Okay.
huh. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Check those two out wherever.
Last time the ring broke and there was an hour and a half intermission after match number 2. Hopefully this time that doesn't happen.
How do you fill a Twitch stream for an hour and a half?
Just a lot of hope. Well, the first 30 minutes to 40 minutes is a lot of like any minute now, and then after that it's like we're just gonna like grab dinner and stick around.
We'll be back.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hopefully. Yeah, it was touch and go there. Randy Whitworth, who you can see on the it's a Netflix reality show about bougie kids, and he does a video vlog, and his vlog is like, I don't know if my match is gonna happen, and then he's like, okay, I think it's happening. Never mind, hold on, And so he vlogged it.
Breaking news: every match is false count anyway.
Yeah, I know. They're about to have some no ring death matches. Now I get why companies do it.
Yeah, check them out. Tomorrow night, you can catch me in Austin on a podcast about movies, talking musical.
Me and Richie don't be on it. Whatever. Don't invite me and Richie. We don't even care.
All right, so now I can do my plugs in peace. Yeah, me and Austin tomorrow talking about musicals. We each picked I believe we each picked 7 that we want to talk about.
Chicago.
It's going to be a fun discussion. I believe before that they are doing an episode of Podcast League Now. Jordan Anderson and Austin, or Jordan will be talking about sequels he wants to see, and Jordan. Austin will be talking about movies that should be remade. So,
me and Jacob and Richard don't even want to be on that show. We don't care.
Are you going to talk about cats? We need to warn you.
Meow.
Hey guys, you know the thing. I'm not a doctor, but
I'm not a doctor.
I
don't think oxygen goes over the eyes. I'm Casey Kasem, and we're counting